Okay, we're on the hunt here for an old survey stake, and this is a copy of the Palm Beach Farms Company plat, and we're searching for the northeast corner of tract 56, block 77, and we're calling it point 137. There's also a point 30 feet east called point 138, but right now we're looking for the northeast corner of tract 56, and we'll put that back in the file here and take a shovel with us, because a lot of these times we're in a farm field, which is in Boca Raton, and it's Farmer John's property, and someday there's going to be a school built here, so that's what we're here for, to survey a school. But since it's part of the Palm Beach Farms Company, the legal description will be part of Palm Beach Farms Company, and therefore the track corners are required to be found in order to have the survey in the proper place. David Benz, a licensed land surveyor, and is with me, and together we cut this line out here. We input the coordinates into GPS, and through a process of using corners that we had found before, we were able to determine a digging spot for this, to look for this corner. As you can tell, it's kind of interesting to try to get through here, especially holding a camera and a shovel. Okay. There we go. This is David Benz. Say hello, David.
Hello.
And David thinks he found something over here, so we're going to take a look at it. There's what appears to be a stake, and set in the ground. We probably need to get some something to replace it with, don't we? Let's see if we got some stakes out here. Here's the GPS that we used, and notice how high it is on the pole, because we have to get over these trees. We had to cut out a hole in the trees in order to see the sky with the GPS. But the good thing is we didn't have to do a lot of traversing and so forth. We just set it up and walked in here, and this very well could be a Palm Beach Farms Company stake. It looks like it's been cut on. There's moss growing on it, which means it's been here for a long time. It's also very round, which is unusual, but it's been here since 1912. It's almost 100 years old. So, and in this type of environment, there'd be a lot of erosion, and it's not what the word I want, but deterioration of the stake. So we're going to pull it out here in just a second and replace it with probably an iron rod and a concrete mine. But when we pull it out, that'll tell us the story, if it's a real stake or if it's just a tree sticking up. All right, that's fine. But
base is still strong.
oh boy.
It's getting there.
Wow, that's quite a difference, isn't it? So there it is. Now maybe pull it up and push it down a couple times and see if you get a little hole going. There you go. It definitely looks like a stake. We need a...
Might be able to put the monument right on.
we might, yeah.
Want to try that?
Well, the monument would go on top of the iron rod because there's not much metal in these concrete monuments. So we'll double monument the point if we can. Wow, that's a big long stake. They must have cut something local and used it because this was such high water in here, probably. Because this is much bigger than a regular stake. Normal stakes were 4 foot long and measured 2 by 4. But we have found other posts that that went right down, didn't it?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, that's been cut. Look at that. Look at that. Hold her still. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's an original stake from 1912 that was set. Good job, Dave. Now we're going to try putting this monument in its place. And this will take both of us, I'm afraid.
I get it.
Well, don't you move, because I don't want to lose that point. It's completely out of sight. Here, give me the stake. Man alive, look at that thing. Okay, can you get it? There we go. Just kind of twist. Yeah, leave it up a little bit if you can. Wow, look at that. Just fits right in there.
Perfect replacement.
Now we have to cut away some of these trees, I guess, to get a good reading on it. And unfortunately, I grabbed the wrong monument this morning, and this one says South Florida Water Management District in it, but we'll have to correct that and put my numbers and Dave's numbers in here eventually. And okay, Dave is just about ready to get set up here, and we did have a what we call a stakeout location, and
Calculated position.
calculated position, which we calculated all the way over from State Road 7, which is about a half a mile to the west here. And we projected what we thought where the corner would be, and does it tell you how close it is?
Yes. It says go north 1.65 and east 1.9.
1.9, so we're about 2 feet off, roughly 2.5 or so, and so that's not bad, especially considering east and west, especially because the first tier of tracks along the State Road 7 or the E1 canal down there are not even numbered. They're odd numbers. You know, like all the other track corners are 5-acre tracks, 330 by 660 feet. But the end ones are like take-up lots, and they sometimes vary in their measurements. So east and west is a little tricky to find the first one. So 2 feet or 1.9 east and west being off is nothing at all, and a 1.6 north, that's not too bad. That's about roughly where the machete is. So the GPS did its job, and our calculations held true. But more important, it's those guys that worked back in 1912. They did their job right, and they put the points in so close that we can find them with modern equipment today, and very close to where they said that the point was going to be. That's a real tribute to those field crews of the Palm Beach Farms Company back in 1912. Okay, now Dave's going to take some readings and see if we can't get a coordinate on this monument position, which we'll use from here on out to calculate the rest of the track lines and so forth. We'll probably take more than one reading here, so.
What's your next number? Do you know your next number?
Okay, we're getting a reading on it, and it's going to be point number 64. We'll probably take a couple readings here, 64, 65, and 66, just to get some averages on it so that we know the GPS is working properly, and we'll just take the average of the 3 points and make it point 64. We may vary the rod height too to see how good we can come in the open sky. How long do you normally take a reading? A couple of minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. Well, I'll just turn this thing off and we'll wait. We'll come back a few minutes later. Alright, Dave has taken, this is his third reading, and on the GPS, it's a little wobbly, but if you take 3 readings and take them over a series of several minutes, it all averages out and it's not too far off. And it'll be good enough considering the type of point we replaced and how how it was stuck in the ground and so forth. So this is where you just use your best judgment. This is where the other stake is supposed to be, 30 feet east of where we were, but it looks pretty hopeless. But who knows, it might be down under in all that mud and muck and everything. It's real loose in here. You can stick a machete down in here. Muck just goes for several feet, so more than likely the base of that stake could be down there, and we'll take a look for it here shortly. Dave's gonna measure our stake here. Let me hold the other end down here. Got it? Okay. Whoop. Here we go. From one end.
7.5 feet.
7.5 feet. That's how long that stake is. It's the longest one I've ever. This shows that they just did what there was high water there, so they just cut a lettered post somewhere and stuck it in there. It was, you can tell it was in muck for at least 2 feet, at least maybe 2.5 feet, just stuck in the mud, and the rest of it.
This was the water line, right?
Water line varied, and it looks like I may have hit it with the chainsaw when it was so rough in there. I see some area there that's been kind of, and it looks like on the top of the stake I may have hit it with a chainsaw too, because it was just so embedded in all that foliage that couldn't see it, so I was just chainsawing away. Good thing I didn't cut it in half. We've never found it. Well, we're gonna see if we got another stake here. We think we might have one. This is 30 feet east of the other one that we found. We're still in block 77, I believe it was. Dave's gonna reach in the ground here. We measured over 30 feet and stuck the stake in the ground, and right at the base of the stake, he thinks he's found the point of another 2x4. Now as he pulls this out, he'll stick the iron rod in there, and see what happens here. There he goes. Okay, he's got that jammed in. There's a point. Son of a gun. Now here's a 4x4 post that we found, and we're gonna set it over top of the iron rod and just kind of set it in the mud here a little bit, and just leave it up like that. Yeah, we'll put them. That'll be it. we'll probably come back and replace it with a concrete monument when we... Yeah, that looks good.
Not too bad.
That looks good. And here's the 2x4, which we call 2x4. It looks more like a 2x6, doesn't it? And what's it off? This is what most of the Palm Beach Farms Company stakes look like. Either they were shaped up that they were actual lumber points, and they were sometimes referred to as points, because this is all that was left of the stake is the point of the stake, the rest of it being rotted away. And you got to remember, this stake is about, careful, don't ruin that point. This stake was set back in 1912, and it looks like it's brand new. I mean, virtually. Looks all shaped up. Of course, back then they would have used an axe to shape it with. And yeah, let's go ahead and get a close-up on it. Here, just hold it out there. And yeah, very good, very nice. Very nice point. This is something that you don't find every day anymore, and this is really an amazing thing to find something like this. Well, you think it's genuine, David?
Looks, to me it is.
Looks genuine to me too. Okay, very good. All right. Thanks. Here we go. All right. Okay, that's a good one there. This is David with the stake out in the swamp, and this is when we were first had located it, and now he's setting the GPS over it. And we set the monument over the point, and the GPS is extended high above the foliage, as high as we could get it. This is the base of the stake, and it's just to show how preserved it has been. Unfortunately, as it sits now out of the water, it actually starts deteriorating more, and it's going to start drying out and splitting. And we'll try to put some wood life preservative on the stake to prevent that. But yeah, that's the base of that stake, and it shows the chopping on the stake, which is the key that we look for to authorize that it's an original stake. Some more shots of it. It measured out to be 7.5 feet long. There's David with the GPS and the prize stake that we found out in the swamp. And that's a good picture there. And that's the hole where we cut in. Oh gosh, I'm even in the picture there. How about that? Well, you can see why I use Dave for a model. And there's the second stake that we found and replaced. This stuff here was really tough to cut through, and we spent a long time. These are some close-up shots of the other stake that we measured. I generally call these points, or 2x4 points or something like this. This stake happened to be bigger than, wider than a 4-inch stake. More like about 5 inches, I think.